Hello and welcome to an episode that is hopefully not filled with echo of the Brave Room. As always, I am your host, Wan Amirul, and with me today we have
Kit on another episode of a foreseeable future jank arc.
Yep. Guys, I'm gonna be real with you. Things are not getting better. Things are only gonna get more jank from here. The jankdemic is going on. And make sure to leave a comment to let us know just how jank this podcast has gotten. Anyways, we are hot off the heels of another Genshin live stream. That's right, we're talking about Genshin again.
Because that's pretty much what a lot of normies would think of when you tell them, "Oh, I play video game." I guess.
I have never seen a normie play Genshin. I see budding Fujoshis playing Genshin. That's about it.
Because the thing is, whenever I go on YouTube and get recommended, it's like, my first gacha game ever. So they're relative normies, you know?
That is true. Having to explain to someone the concept of the limited banner is like the weirdest thing ever. Because I feel like every gacha player has it in their heart. So seeing someone be introduced to it, it's like, you know that thing in like a lot of it's a very common shonen trope, which is always you have the one character who was born for this life, and then the main character is the new one just coming in. So he doesn't understand everything. That's what this feels like. You see someone coming in asking about the limited banner and you're just like, what? Is Harry Potter just shonen? Is Harry Potter white shonen? I think it is.
Well, I mean, it could be.
Harry Potter's white shonen.
The chosen one. But then it's not like he's got any real views or anything. He's just like, oh, you're the chosen one, you gotta do this, so he does it, I guess.
I mean, he's got a pretty pro I don't want to get killed by a noseless snake man.
That's fair. I don't think anyone does.
You'd be surprised. There are some parts of the internet. I can't believe we've developed Harry Potter as a white shonen. Expecto Patronus Datebayo. Oh boy, it's another one of those episodes. We're talking about leaks. Because along with the new announcements of every Genshin Impact stream, there's also the leaks for the next announcement.
Yes, sir.
That come along with it. And we were going to talk about leak culture in general. Because...
attempt to anyway, I guess.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about what the actual Genshin leaks are, because I do actually think part of the fun is in the live stream. And I had this weird discussion with a friend the other day. Actually, since we're talking about leaks, I can talk about this. Because we had the Sonic live stream a while back as well, right?
Yeah.
And this friend was complaining... Before this friend was like, oh man, I want a Sonic Colors remake. And then the Sonic thing came and went. And, you know, they announced a Sonic Colors remake. And the next day she was like, oh god, the Sonic live stream was a bust. Nothing big happened there. I'm like, what are you talking about? You got your Sonic Colors remake. She goes, yeah, but that was leaked like a month ago. And I'm just like, how is that Sonic Team's problem? I guess if a game leaks now, it doesn't count. Doesn't count, guys. You're not allowed to be hyped for something that was leaked. Dark Souls 3, get out of here. Devil May Cry 5 twice, get out of here. None of those amazingly hype reveals count anymore. Elden Ring. The one thing we've seen of Elden Ring was leaked.
You still alive there, our Elden Ring?
Oh, they alive. Same, completely different. But yeah, so I think the internet has developed this weird relationship with leaks, haven't they?
I guess for a certain subset of them, yes. Like, for example, if you want to talk about Genshin leaks, some people would be like, oh my god, I need these leaks because as an F2P, I need to learn what to save for. And I guess that's a pretty fair assessment, but gacha games, you're really used to just getting blindsided every now and again.
Okay, actually, now that you've made that argument, I can support that as well, because we knew that I'm not gonna call her Eula. We knew that Eula was coming for a while. We've known she was on the docket.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's so a lot of people, myself included, were like, oh yeah, we're going to maybe I'm not gonna go so ham on the polls right now because Eula's coming. So yeah, I can definitely see, like, we can't eradicate all leaks forever because they do end up being pro-consumer at the end, right?
Yeah. But then there's also the understandable thing where companies don't want, their IPs to just be
at the end of the day,
uninternet.
you want to be able to talk about the thing you've been working on your own terms.
Uh-huh.
Can you imagine if companies were forced to talk about stuff whenever they were asked about it? Like, they weren't allowed to give we'll tell you more when it's closer to the date. Can you imagine how disastrous that would be? I'm trying to think what game had a really, really bad, like, blind side to it.
I wouldn't say it's like related to leaks or anything, but the interview with Shuei Yoshida, I believe, he did mention that they do try to announce games relatively close to when they're ready to be released, because otherwise, you take FF7 Remake, for example, they announced it pretty early and then they had to go radio silent for reasons or another. And people are like, are you still working on it? Are you still working on it?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I should say I freaking love Capcom for doing that, by the way. I think every announcement they've made, like, the game comes out within 6 months of its announcement.
Yeah. I mean, I also have to just chip in a little bit for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. The original announcement was like, I think the teaser was in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. And the date has been just vaguely 2020. I believe Kimura did say that he kind of regretted announcing it too early.
Yeah, I think the other example of leaks you have is Overwatch 2, which super leaked, and then Blizzard did the thing. I always commend the company when they do this. When a game gets leaked and then they go, okay, yeah, jig is up. We were working on Overwatch 2, and then they announced it, and then it's been silent ever since.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of the whole Blitzchung thing too.
Yeah. Wasn't there something else they were working on that got revealed? Oh wait, I think I'm thinking of something else, because I believe Call of Duty, the Warzone mode, was accidentally leaked. Then I was like, yeah, fine, just take it.
Yeah. So I think as games media in particular, we have a weird relationship with leaks.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, you want to maintain that social link, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blizzard's not gonna like it if all you're doing is digging through their trash, finding pieces of the next game.
Yeah, however, it's still like something the community wants. They want to know. We want to know some news, and that's it. That's the crux of the issue, isn't it? It's news. People want to know.
It's news.
So if you don't cover it, then how? What are you
Eventually, you
gonna
gotta cover it. Yeah, you can only pretend for so long.
And if you're not gonna cover it, someone else is going to.
Yeah, and then you got a problem. I mean, we also have we act like leaks are this binary scale. They really aren't. Because on one hand, you have stuff like, an anonymous source told us that Blizzard is working on StarCraft dating sim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's that level of leak. And then there's the Capcom level of leak, where we stole a Capcom server and we're ransoming them for money. And we're gonna drop a bunch of personal information of employees, but also news about Monster Hunter Rise coming to PC.
Yeah.
That's a way more, like, difficult situation to be in. because in that case you are actively promoting, you're actively promoting a terrible thing, which is the server theft and stuff. And again, the problem is it became news. The contents of what came out of that are news, and we can't just close our ears and say that we're gonna pretend didn't see that. I mean, we did that with all the employee personal information, obviously.
Yeah.
Joe Margus at Capcom living in 38 Tigrex Drive. That's not news.
Also, they probably will have the further docs.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, Kit, is that we're not going to report on the doxing.
Yeah.
But the fact that Monster Hunter, we found out that Monster Hunter Rise was coming to PC, that was news. We had to cover that.
Yes, indeed.
And I think if you are a fledgling blogger, newsman, whatever have you, that you have to make that call. Like, how important is this story versus, the ethics and potential social link ramifications of writing the leak.
It's kind of like, if somebody else did it, then, oh well, I guess it's my turn.
Shout out to the bike outside. Not just that, but also you have because you can make the opposite argument as well, which is that, I shouldn't have to worry about my relationship with a studio, so therefore I need to do it to show that I am not in the pocket of a studio.
Yes, integrity, etc.
I wouldn't even call that integrity. I would call that aggressive, like, what do you call that? Like you're trying to prove a point. It's almost performative. Yeah, performative integrity. That's what it is. I'm not doing this for any reason other than to piss off a studio, which is, that's its own problem. The leak situation is messy, is what I'm saying, and it will eventually come down to whether you think the individual news story is important or not. Which is surprise. That's most of this job, is deciding what's important and what's not.
More often than not, it's important, really.
Yeah, and I think you also need to adjust the scale, the slider for what you think is important. Because obviously we're not reporting on conflict in the Middle East, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, compared to that, nothing is important. Oh, what? Venti's having another reroll banner? Thanks, says person whose roof was blown out by artillery. In the grand scale of things, nothing really matters. But so you gotta make that editorial call, is what I'm saying.
Like for example, if you want to bring it back to the whole Genshin Leaky thing, the official accounts have said, please no Leaky. And all the, hey, we're gonna take legal action against you when you leak our stuff. And still people will leak them.
Yep. I love how it wasn't the legal action that scared them. It was when they started disabling accounts. They made leaks they made no leaks part of the TOS and could get your account revoked. I mean, Final Fantasy 14 does that too.
Honestly, I've barely seen any FF14 leaks, despite how many people go crazy about it on my feed. But
again, because if they get public, accounts get taken.
But the funny thing is, even so, just to bring it back to Genshin, that's not stopping anybody.
It did though. I remember a bunch of Genshin leakers mysteriously deleted their stuff.
But they're back. They're all back.
Yeah, but the fact that they did the first time, you can't hide the smell of bitch in your system. Cowardice sticks with you. And again, you do it for whatever reason you have to, but just know, you'll be remembered for that. We all remember. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but just know that, we know that card is in your hand now. The hide everything and pretend that MiHoYo doesn't see. So yeah, that's pretty much it really for that. I think the argument that leaks ruin the fun is also pretty weird.
Mm-hmm. Also,
because again, Devil May Cry 5 leaked twice before it was officially announced. We knew the game existed for I think about 3 years before it was finally revealed. to the point that I remember whenever it was part of a game show lineup, they'd be like, guys, Devil May Cry 5 is gonna be at Taipei Game Show this year. I would be like, oh, that's the sign that it's fake. Because I've been hearing about Devil May Cry 5 for like 2 years now. And then, sure enough, at Xbox E3 2017, Devil May Cry 5 was there. It is still the hypest shit I ever saw. Do you know how they revealed Devil May Cry 5 at E3?
2017, I don't think I was watching out for it.
The way they did it was they just played the trailer with no like context clues to what it was. And like it's like a very generic like, oh man, the city is overrun with demons. And then it cuts to like a rock guitar starts playing, and then the van comes into frame, and on the side of the van is Devil May Cry in neon lights. It's the sickest shit ever. And like even the fact that we knew that the game was being existed in some form for like the past 2 years, that still was incredibly hype.
It's like, oh my god, it's official! I can finally get into my grubby little gamer hands.
It's not just that, it's just the fact that like at the end of the day, unless it's a trailer leak, like just the news leak is nothing. No, there's no like it is ultimately you can't read a line of text that says Devil May Cry 5 is coming out and think that's enough to overpower just how hyped that f***ing reveal trailer was. I didn't even watch it like live. Like I watched it later when the trailer was already called Devil May Cry 5 announced trailer, and it was still incredibly hype. So like I think on the other hand, the people who are like, no, but the leaks will ruin, like you'll ruin everything. Like that's not entirely true either.
It's a fair assessment, but doesn't apply equally.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, freaking Guilty Gear Strive, the last character, Ino, she was leaked a few hours ahead of the press conference. Again, still incredibly hype. Speaking of which, we're recording this a week before Strive comes out. Good lord. I'm hanging in there, guys.
The blazing will be real soon.
The blazing will be real. I will do a solo podcast if I have to, just talking about Guilty Gear.
I mean, sure, then maybe you can attract all the sweaty FGC bros over.
Maybe. But yeah, what are we on about leaks? Yeah.
Yeah, leaks.
I think there's a lot of sensitive people both ways.
Yeah.
But I do think though, if you find a leak, you have a responsibility to make it a little harder to see. Like maybe don't take if a screenshot leaks, for example, screenshot of the trailer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say, for example, what's a big spoiler that could, V in Devil May Cry. Let's go with him. So say you got the screenshot for V leaks a few months before he was announced. Maybe don't put that. Maybe put a link to it, but maybe don't attach the picture and be like, oh my god, new playable character V in Devil May Cry 5 coming out next year.
I find it funny because before it keeps on coming back to Genshin because it's like just the biggest thing.
Yeah,
and people both ways are just all over the damn leaks, and there's so many of them out there. I believe that was not only the promotional video for the version update got leaked, a character's story cutscene also got leaked.
Yeah.
So, yikes!
Yeah, we're not going to get into those details for continued social link reasons, but
yeah, like when I saw it being shared, like, oh dear.
Yeah, and then we closed our eyes, Mihoyo. We closed our eyes.
I didn't watch the thing because I felt that you know,
We said no. We said
yeah.
no spoilers, and then
And
we
also,
looked away.
like, it's not even for a character I like. It's like it'll come sooner or later. I'm lazy to do it immediately anyway, and there'll be spoilers all over the place. Whatever.
But yeah, no. With regards to that, it's like I actually, again, I kind of agree with people who don't want to see spoilers, especially when they're leaked like that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I also get really annoyed when you have the person who's like, guys, spoilers are bad. You are ruining my enjoyment of this game.
Okay, listen. As long as it's tagged properly, I'm fine with it. All right. And with any content, especially, just tag it, please.
We've kind of like muddied the waters between leaks and spoilers here.
Yeah. But I mean, if people are gonna share it, that's what they're gonna do.
All leaks are spoilers, but not all spoilers are leaks.
Yeah. So tag it so that people don't have to see whatever you want to throw out there.
You know what's so weird?
Yeah?
So the Revue Starlight movie came out a year exclusively in Japan, like a year before it was released on Blu-ray, right?
Alright.
And things happen in that movie. The ending of that movie pops off. And somehow they kept a lid on it. Like, they didn't perfectly keep a lid on it. Like, the only spoiler that got out was intentionally vague descriptions of how the pop-off happens. And so people were all speculating that this happened. And then the full, the movie was released internationally. And oh my god, they were wrong. And if anyone has seen Rondo, you know what I'm talking about. So highly recommend Rondo, by the way. I still think Revue Starlight has one of the best gacha game stories I've ever seen.
I mean, if you wanna talk about those kind of spoilers or leaks or whatever, people have this kind of, how you say, stereotype that Japanese fans will always keep things on the down low.
Yeah, I mean, you can even tell that with like Hololive, because Hololive has they have members only streams. Nothing gets out of those members only streams. Nothing. I've only seen one clip from those members only streams, and it was explicitly clipping granted permission by Suise. So yeah, no, there's some truth to that stereotype. Weebs are weirdly loyal. Or I guess otaku are weirdly loyal. God, that's a term we haven't used in a while.
But I guess
otaku.
But I guess the TLDR is kind of like, yeah, there are good sides, bad sides.
Yeah, I think the best like grey leak I can remember is here's a name you guys probably haven't in a while. Funhouse. They leaked Dark Souls 3, like they broke the story. It was like a month out from E3, and they said, guys, Dark Souls 3 is going to be at E3 this year. Here's like assets from the thing, and everyone called them out on it. Say, you're making this up for clicks. It didn't help that Funhouse's MO was very clickbaity at the time. And then they were like, no, we stand by our reporting. And then sure enough, they were right. The assets that they had with them were at the E3 presentation. So they were like super fucking right. And, on one hand, it's just like, should you have harassed Funhouse for leaking Dark Souls 3? Of course not. But also, like, what was the point? What was the point of leaking Dark Souls 3? You didn't do anything. One guy at Bandai Namco put his job in danger, probably. Funhouse got a bunch of clicks, a bunch of airtime, but ultimately it didn't do anything. that's always the one that throws me for a loop, right? It's just like, at the end of the day, why are we doing any of this?
I don't know, like even for me personally, I've always wondered why Arknight stuff doesn't often get leaked. Because like in the 1.5 years or so that I've been playing this game, I've seen leaks like a total of 3 times. The rest were data mines from the client that was already uploaded about 4 hours before the patch and the servers were open again.
Data mines are leaks. Data mines are totally leaks. That is literally you going into the game's files and pulling out stuff that's not meant to be seen.
Alright, I'll acknowledge that data mines are leaks. But like actual those crunchy images that you have no idea where people pulled from, I've only seen those 3 times.
Yeah, because that's
made it like way ahead of when the thing was supposed to go live. Otherwise, the rest were like 4 hours on patch day.
That's because the way we do things has changed. There's no longer a need to sneak into the office and take a photo and zoom in and see, oh my god, official is coming to Arknights. There's no need to do that anymore. Now, you really can just data mine. Like, freaking World of Warcraft. Every patch has the next patch's cutscenes in it. So I didn't know this, but I was following the Shadowlands story like 1 patch in advance, because there was a guy who would data mine the cutscenes every single time, every single patch.
Look, you sir.
But not Genshin, Mihoyo. I see the Genshin. I do the Ethan Winters block.
As long as we don't report on it, we don't disseminate it even further. If you want to look for it, you know your sources, okay?
I do the Ethan Winters block where I put my hands over my face. No Genshin spoilers for me.
It's not like Ethan Winters even has a face, but I guess that's another story.
Man, that was so weird. Where people were like sharing his face, be like, dude, we did this during Resi 7. I think there's a photo of his face in the Resi 7 files. That was the weirdest shit ever. I think that's gonna be it for us. I can only do that Mihoyo no bit so many times before it accidentally actually becomes funny. Thank you so much for listening to the Brave Room. Don't forget, I want to do the journalism Q&A stuff. So please leave your questions for 2 very tired game journalists, and also send us your prayers because E3 is almost upon us.
Summer Games Fest, etc., etc.
I mean, yeah, but we call it E3 season anyways because that's the big one.
Yeah.
Also, do yourself a favor. This is also the most common time for fake leaks because people are most desperate for it. Just don't believe any of it. Just get your news from reputable sources like GamerBraves.com, 1UC, Gamer Santai, or GamerWeka. There we go, that's some cross promotion. Anyways, this has been Wan and Kit from the Brave Room.
This has been Kit, also from the Brave Room.
And thank you so much for listening. And take care, guys.
We'll see you when our bodies stop smoldering from E3.